Welcome to Low Man Help. I'm Mark Campbell, and today we're checking out Jalen Brunson. The first two games versus the Indiana Pacers. The King of New York is here. He is absolutely dominating the Pacers with skip footwork, setting the rules of engagement at the point of attack, and then using those advantages to finish plays in rhythm and on balance. I'm excited for this edit. Let's get into it. All right, first one here, we're checking back in on Brunson. We're going to look at a little post footwork, and Brunson has been using skips to create advantages, optionality, and set the rules of engagement all series out on the perimeter. It's awesome to see him move this footwork into the post. And I've worked with post players before, and this is a shot and a footwork that they end up gravitating towards. We talk about how the bump allows them to do two things. One, disengage in terms of the power of the defender. They get to get a half step ahead, and then two, allows them to lift the weight and load it in a power load, rhythm and balance, rhythmic way, shot prep wise. So we're going to be looking at this foot right here. This foot is going to be the one that we're going to skip, and it's going to hit twice. So this bump from Brunson is going to allow him to disengage McConnell, and it's also going to allow him to lift both feet off the ground, right? And this is going to be power, right? That left foot power, load, rhythm and balance. And this is so good to see Brunson take this type of footwork that is normally reserved for the perimeter and to bring it down into the post and to use the skips to generate advantages, generate optionality, to put his body in rhythm and on balance with the basketball. Such high level stuff from Brunson, and it's really cool to see a guy who's a little bit smaller start to use post footwork and bring perimeter elements into it. All right, another skip to go read here from Brunson, and such a nice job of playing in rhythm and on balance, and most of all, core three changes. The best players in the world, they tell great stories. This is core three changes: slow to fast, high to low, no fear to fear in terms of the hips. He does such a good job of this left foot hits, and these hips are non-fearful, right? These hips right here, these are non-fearful hips. Neesmith is engaged. This is not something where he feels like Brunson's hips are loaded in this direction. He can handle this direction. His hips are loaded to handle this direction. What this skip does, this flips his hips around. This is fear. These hips going from facing this way to facing this way, this is fear. And you can see Neesmith cannot open his hips up enough to get around. So the biggest thing is seeing Neesmith's hips go from here of, I know Brunson can only go baseline, to this skip flips his whole hips around, his toes create the angles, and now it becomes, oh shit, right? You can instantly see there is fear here, and Brunson does such a wonderful job of change of speed, change of levels, change of direction, and then attacking, telling a story to create an inflection point, moment of opportunity, and then attacking downhill. He sets the rules of engagement with his footwork and with core three changes, and this is just so high level. And anybody who's a guard watching this, you have to understand that you are telling a story at all times. And if you can play at different speeds, different levels, and different directions, you're going to create opportunities. All right, checking back in on Brunson. First play here. He's just doing such a good job of using skips to set the rules of engagement and give himself optionality at the point of attack. And then when he gets an advantage, he's in rhythm and on balance to finish plays at the inflection point. So this is so good, and the Pacers are doing their best to not switch Halliburton onto Brunson. It's pretty obvious. They don't want to leave Halliburton on that island, and I don't blame them. He's not prepared to guard Brunson. So this skip right here as Brunson lifts up left, really what he's doing is he's giving himself a chance to read. And he's reading, is Halliburton going to engage and start guarding me, or is he going to try to hold me up? So the biggest thing he's looking at is Halliburton going to start moving with me, because Brunson's moving this way. He's using this skip to flip his hips around, and he's going to see, am I creating fear in Halliburton? Is he going to engage, or is he going to not? And so as soon as he sees this, right? This step from Halliburton where he stops, he's seeing where the weight is loaded, and the weight is not loaded to go with him. So he's seeing where this weight is in Halliburton's feet and not being loaded to go with him. And he makes a wonderful read of Halliburton doesn't want to switch onto me. He's not engaged here. This is going to be a go for me. And this optionality comes from high level footwork, playing in rhythm and on balance as a rhythm team with the basketball. And Brunson has done such a phenomenal job of doing that. And this is such a tough finish. This is so nice. Plays in rhythm and on balance, gets good reads up top, and then a nice floater, not trying to get all the way to the rim to challenge Turner, taking what the defense gives him in rhythm and on balance. High level finish from Brunson. All right, next skip here, we're looking at secondary break, skip to shot, and these are absolute backbreakers. Whenever guys shoot these, they're so cool to see. They're absolute backbreakers, and they're almost instant timeout shots. Normally, they're not just let it rip. A lot of guys aren't Steph Curry. You can't just let these rip in the NBA whenever you want, but when you have that feel and the momentum's going and they're on a run right now, you can almost feel when it's time to shoot it, and this is such a cool shot. One of the coolest things about it is you can see down here in the bottom corner, the former Knicks guys that are here, the former Knicks guys that are down here in the corner, they're loving this. They're going berserk. The Garden is electric, and there's nothing like shooting one of these shots, seeing a guy shoot one of these shots, and seeing the reaction, knowing that this is an instant timeout, and you absolutely feel it. So this is beautiful footwork from Brunson. We're going to get this skip. And for lefties, you always want to load to that right foot, so it's always a lot easier shooting it out of the right hand. This skip, we've got left, power, load, and you're just reading just that little bit of drop, right? If you don't see your defender stay and you don't see angles for go or exchange, when you see that little bit of drop, to see Brunson lift this weight up, load it down, and to know that he's firing this thing up and through power, load, rhythm, and balance, this is such a great shot. So cool. He is absolutely destroying the Pacers with skip footwork. He's setting the rules of engagement no matter if it's in the half court. All right, next clip here, we've got McConnell really giving Brunson problems. He's been a very pesky defender, and the Pacers have thrown some good coverages at him in terms of Nembhard and McConnell, but Brunson is cooking. He is absolutely cooking, and he does such a good job of A, riding out this pressure, and then B, right here, as soon as he gets control of the situation, he does such a good job of going from defensive mode to I now have the advantage. I'm going to create a neutral to attack moment. I'm going to be the one to set the rules of engagement. And to be able to flip that from here, where you're making sure you're handling the pressure, to then instantly flip your mind here to I'm going to create the rules of engagement now and go neutral to attack. This is so good. So he gets a lift, right? And always thinking about getting both of these feet off the ground. We want to get them both off the ground while the ball is loading up, right? So getting everything off, and then power, this step lifting this right foot, power, load, and he sets the fear, right? He sets the fear in McConnell. You can see the fear is going this way. This hip is exposed, and he does such a nice job of moving from power, load, and then shifting the weight, understanding that this is where the opening is, and he does such a great job here of going from defensive to neutral to attack moment, shifting the weight, creating an opening, and then finishing through contact. This is so high level, and this is not common. This is so uncommon to be able to mentally shift yourself to defensive, then neutral to attack, all while reading under control, in rhythm, on balance, where defenders are loading the weight, where they're not able to go. This is so effing good from Brunson, and he has been an absolute killer all playoffs. All right, digging back into the Jalen Brunson cross step. Been loving seeing him put this on people all playoffs. This is so good. Again, he does such a great job of creating the fear. And then once he creates the fear, he does such a nice job here creating the fear. He knows at this point, right? It's over. It's over right here for Nembhard in terms of being able to, all the weight is going this way. Nembhard can no longer control an action where this top hip is attacked, and Brunson knows that, and he does such a nice job of creating this fear and then driving everything up and through. Now, you might pick this one up a little early. This is superstar stuff. I play for the Knicks, but he might pick this one up a little early, but he drives everything over. He creates the fear, creates the angle, plans this out in advance, knows exactly what he wants to get to, and he does such a nice job of creating these angles and then playing in rhythm and on balance and taking what the defense gives him. He's not forcing this into a finish. He's not forcing a lob here to Mitchell Robinson. He knows that this is a shot that is his. He does such a good job of floating this up, getting it up, creating an angle early, and using core three changes, speed, levels, and direction to create an advantage. All right, that's a wrap on the Jalen Brunson edit. He's been absolutely electric for the first two games against the Pacers. The Garden is on fire, and the Knicks have a chance to do something really special, and Jalen Brunson is the catalyst. He's done an amazing job all playoffs long of creating these neutral to attack moments with his footwork, whether it's in pick and roll, ISO, or the post, it doesn't matter. And then he is hitting his reads, his yes or no reads on these neutral to attack moments. He's lights out. If it's shoot, it's shoot. Make or miss, doesn't matter. If that's the right read, he's taking it. If it's attack, if it's a go, it's go, and then he's playing from there. If it's float, then that's what the read is. If it's finish, that's what the read is. He's doing such a great job of trusting his skill and then using his footwork to create moments where his skill can flourish. It's so cool to watch him play right now, and it's really cool to see the Garden alive. But one of the best things is to see him put on this masterclass with his feet to show that even if you're not the most athletic player on the floor vertically or speed-wise, if you can play in this neutral to attack rhythm, if you can use core three changes to tell stories to your defender to create fear, then you can thrive no matter what the level. So Jalen Brunson is just a shining example to anybody out there trying to get better, that it really comes down to your level of skill and the habits you work on, and then being able to apply them at the highest level. And that only comes from an insane level of dedication to your footwork, to your handle. I guarantee you he messes up a ton when he's in the gym because he pushes himself to the limit so that when he's in these situations and he's being pressured, this feels relaxing to him. So it's really cool to see. It's awesome to see habits translate into instincts like that. And I hope you enjoyed the edit as much as I like making it. Catch you on the next one.